It is Tuesday, August 16th, and the time is 12:55 p.m. And here's what I have this week. I'm going to start off with last week because I put in my levels from last week. My last video was Monday of last week with all my levels, and never really did a video after that. And here's what happened. Now those right here are this week's levels. We got resistant, support, and this is last week's levels. And I obviously carried down positions through this past weekend. So we opened up the weekend here. I put in my sell limits in here. We got filled and added, and this is from last week. This is the R1 and this is R2. So we got filled in here. We got filled here again. The retracements were quite shallow. Usually a move like this, we'll see the 50% down here. I'm off with two positions with the profit and hopefully with the profit for the week, taking many positions usually at that stage. But this week was a little bit different. This past week, 10 days has been a bit different. The trend was quite strong and very persistent, and this does happen maybe 3 to 4 weeks out of the year, and there's nothing you can do. You just have to either take the stop, which I still have a stop in place, or carry through the weekend and wait for it to pull back some, because eventually it does, hopefully before your account is destroyed. So I was again short in here. The pullback was not enough to come back with any kind of profit or even break even. So, and it continued until Friday, until it finally pulled back in Sunday night Monday. ADCHF, I didn't do anything with that last week. I did take this is from last week again. This was R1 and this was R2. I did take short in here, stopped, come back a little bit. My target was in here for profit and never got close to it, and it moved back up, and I added at R2 another position that just kept on moving, and just one of those moves. The market has been moving with it as well, as everybody can notice. We're up again today. So I held it for the weekend and finally came back. The good news is I'm out of all my positions, so I'm just gonna show that here in a little bit. I exited everything I have about an hour ago. AD New Zealand, this time I had too many positions going on. I had put a limit sell in here, then we went ahead and canceled it. Just had too many open, so I didn't want to have too many positions open at the same time. AD JPY, the same thing. I put this sell in here, and that was toward the end of the week, Friday, and I went ahead and canceled it. Canadian, I missed this one. I think I just put that in. I didn't put an order in. Missed it. It would have been a good trade, but I didn't take that one. And in here, I did take a loan on the CAD Swiss. I picked up a loan past S1 that again didn't move enough. I just carried it through the weekend as well, and just moved down again. Swiss yen, this one did close. I was short in here, came back, and my target was in here, and I picked up some profit on this trade. And this was a stop loss. I did have a few stop loss last week, and I'll share those here in just a little bit. I was long in here. It started to move up a bit, not enough to move up to here. I think my limit was in here somewhere. And down it went, and I think I finally took the loss in here somewhere, way past right here, S2. This is S1, and this is S2. Just went down here, and I finally gave up the position. I took the loss. Pound, CAD, nothing. I didn't do anything on this one, and nothing on pound yen. Nothing in here. I had put limits. I had too many positions open, and I said, well, I'll take it only if it reaches extreme. It never really got there. I did take a short on the pound dollar. I took a short in here and added to it, and it continued to move. I mean, there was account was minus at one time. I think it was minus 300, and somewhere on Thursday night and Friday. So it was pretty big drop, a draw on the trade last week. So I was short in here, took another one, and I finally got out of both in here somewhere with a nice gain. I did take a long in the Euro AUD in here, and then after it kept on going and held it for this week, and finally came back a little bit. And again, I exited everything about an hour ago, and I'll show the results of that. Euro Swiss, I had canceled this one. I had too many orders open that time. They're not doing well. Should have been a long in here somewhere, which I never would take. Euro CAD, nothing. This one was a stop loss as well. I was long here somewhere. Can't see the error. I can't see it, but I think I was long here. Added to it, maybe in here, and oh no, I didn't have to. I just took a stop loss. Euro yen, didn't do anything on that one. Just too many positions last week, and I got in trouble in most of them. Nothing here. New Zealand yen, I was short in here. That got held through the weekend as well. It kept going against me. This is not right. This is just a mistake. And here, this price never did go down to this level. Just a bad tick. New Zealand CAD, I was short in here and added to it in here. This is R1, R2, and it kept going against me through the weekend. And the same thing with the New Zealand USD. I was short in here, added to it way above R2, and it just kept going against me. My stop loss was still here. I still had a stop loss through all of this mayhem, but some got hit, some did not. And I'll show this again in just a bit. This one was also a very tough trade. I was long at this one, at the Swiss, we see. Added to it, and it just continued through the week. And I took a stop loss on the yen. Been long in here, continued, I added to it, and then I've taken a loss on both, I think in here somewhere. I mean, it just probably saw my stop loss within a few ticks and moved up after that. And same thing with CAD. I was long, moved a little bit, not enough to trade me or profit. Added to it in here and held it through the weekend. And this is why I exited. Oh no, I exited this manually actually yesterday. There was enough gain on this in this position. I took it both in here. And that's pretty much that. I'm still holding some of the spreads. I'll share those in a different video. And they're not doing extremely well, but I'm still holding them. So with that said, earlier, about an hour ago, the account finally came back to my previous level on Monday, and it got me back to break even, and I exited everything because at this stage I'm holding positions from last week, and I have new levels coming up, and they are somewhat against the level I had from last week, so I can't really decide whether to exit and reverse or just hold or add to position. It just became way too confusing, so I decided to take everything at this balance in here at break even, and stop again maybe tomorrow after the FOMC meeting, and we hit some extreme levels, and I can still take some trades from there and see what happens. The good again is it was a trade of 10 days, but the good news is I ended up breaking even. I started in here with the balance of not this Monday, the previous Monday, 10 days ago, of 38.83, and it kept on. And I took all those positions and I just held them. I had stop loss on all of them, but only a few got hit. This was the profit I took on the Swiss yen, and those are the stop losses. So they are stop losses, unfortunately, and they're quite big, but what happened once in a while. But overall, the strategy is still effective and it still works. So at 11:20 something today, I closed everything because I'm back to 38.87, which is back to the balance of restarting this whole thing off. And I'll reset, look at those levels again. I won't do anything today because of the meeting tomorrow. Maybe after the meeting, after the announcements, we'll see some extreme moves, and I'll be able to re-enter and see. But didn't make my 5% last week, and we'll see what happened this week. That's it, and I'll do another video once I take additional trades.